And I don't like to be disturbed. People come in, try to talk to me. The phones ring. I don't pick anything up. I do it so early, so the phones don't ring. Most of my jobs that I do as an agent is on the West Coast. So it's still people. My phones aren't going to ring until about 1 o'clock. So from 5 to about 10 a.m., I'm typing away, And I just came up with a story. And it was a story that, like any writer, it has a lot of me in it. Even though I don't want it to be an autobiography, but it has a lot of me. And I think anything I write is always going to have a little bit of me in it. And it's basically about an artist who he gets caught up in a bad situation. It takes place in the 80s. He gets put away. He's at the top of his game as an artist. And when he goes away, during the time that he's away, the market changes and the hip-hop genre starts to kick in. Kaz, you remember when that happened.
Absolutely.
When the freestyle stuff was happening, and all of a sudden, it just all the stations started changing their formats, and the hip hop thing. So the guy comes out of jail, and he's trying to reclaim. He wants to reclaim his title, and he contacts gets in touch with his manager, and she's already dabbling in the hip hop genre, and she's trying to talk him into it, but you gotta go, you gotta move here, and he doesn't want to budge. He doesn't want to budge, and he just wants to regain this crown, and he wants to do everything and anything, and he really believes that he can do it, and that's basically the story.
Right.
And it has a lot of ups and downs, and has a lot of twists and turns, and so it's not a story. You're not going to sit there and read a story about freestyle. It's an urban novel. I call it urban Latino novel, and the reason why I do that is because urban, African American urban and Latino urban, even though we could both live in the same building in the ghetto, we live different lives. Our lives are different. Our cultures are different. We eat different foods. A lot of times we dress differently. We watch different shows, listen to different music, and so on.
Right.
So I said, you know what, I need something because I read a lot of urban novels. Angel reads them a lot. A lot of them African American, and it's cool. We love them. We can relate to a point. But I said, you know what? Let's switch it up a little bit here. So I coined this an urban Latino novel, and it really has a great story, and really it talks about betrayal and friendship and love, and the guy has a great relationship with his mother and with his girl, who's also his manager, and he just has this persistence. And I look at it, and I hope that the artists that read it, and the ones that have read it have really came to me and said, "Wow, man, I didn't know it was like this."
Right.
And if you read the reviews, we got over 30 reviews, and I think I know 3 of those people. So the reviews are good. The sales are great. I sold the book. I put it on Amazon Kindle for just 99 cents because I could care less about the money right now. I really, really want the readers. And then for Christmas, I'm going to come out with the paperback.
Yeah, see, I was going to ask you if there was ever going to be a hard copy that you would sell at shows.
Yes. But you see, I'm trying to create a system here. I have my second book coming out in October for Halloween. It's called Feast Style. It's about a vampire. And Susie's going to actually be the cover. Little Susie's going to be the cover of that book. And she plays a vampire. And, of course, I keep everything within my market.
Right.
Again, she's a freestyle artist that just happens to be a vampire. But there's a whole system to that. So there's a lot of twists and turns, just not like this person who's biting people. No, there's a lot to it, And that also, like Freestyle for Life, is going to be about 500 pages, about 50 chapters. I want these things to be real books. I can't expect people to spend time reading them if I don't spend time writing them, and really putting my time into them. And as far as I know, and I think I'm right, I'm the first one to do it. So no one's done it, and I'm hoping it opens some doors, and other artists who can't pack the clubs anymore, maybe they see a different audience here.
Well, I'm sure.
Come write a book. Maybe now you'll pack these venues again.
I'm sure that you already have this in the works because, like you said, you're always thinking of new ways to expose things. But what about an audio version with the girls doing it for people who want to listen on their iPods and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Did you ever hear the excerpt that I did?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Well, yeah. That's just a sample of what I am going to work. I just have to find a time, because trust me, that little piece that's a minute long.
Right.
It took me about 2 hours to do it, to get it right.
I hear you.
And so I'm like thinking, oh my goodness. I said, wow. I said, I got to read, chapter after chapter, make mistakes. I really don't want to edit. That I said that straight through. I don't want to edit. So if I read a chapter, there can't be no errors. I can't slur. Right. I can't stop. I can't hesitate. I can't misspell words or mispronounce words. I can't. So I'm just mentally preparing myself for that,
Right.
But yeah, there is definitely an audio book that will follow probably right after the holidays.
Okay.
I don't want to do it for the holidays because I want people to have the book itself.
Right.
I'll tell you something else that we're doing, which is interesting, and I've already spoke to a handful of artists. Just waiting for them to get it. We're actually going to start doing soundtracks that coincide with the books.
Okay.
So when the paperback comes out, in that particular, in Freestyle for Life, I think there's 3 or 4 songs that are mentioned. These are fictitious songs. These songs do not exist. I just found these really cool titles, and I said, these could be pretty emotional. And I just wrote the title and put them in the story. So I said, it would be pretty cool, man, if I could take those songs and actually create real songs out of them and put a little pocket in the back of the book and slide a CD in there.
See,
So I have a couple of artists, couple of producers that love the idea. I'm just waiting for them to start bringing me some samples.
See, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because one of my questions was, and this, I don't know if this, a dead issue or not, but like 6 or 7 years ago, you played me a demo of the Sal project.
Yeah.
For Me and the Girls. Is that ever going to come out, or is that a dead thing?
Man, I don't know how you like the song.
Right.
Angel loves the song.
Right.
Susie always loves the song. I think Lizette liked the song. I actually put the girls in the studio. If you think about SAL, you think about Lizette Melendez, you think about, Together Forever, Little Susie, Take Me Ours, Angel, Show Me. 3 very different styles. Remember, the producers were all different. Different sounds. The girls sing different voices. Think about it. You listen to either of those 3, you could pretty much tell who's who, right?
Right.
They don't, even their dance steps. That's why SAL has no dance steps. Their movements are so different. Look at their bodies. Their bodies are completely different.
Right.
I'm surprised that SAL has lasted. Remember, I started that concept in 2004. In 2011, we just did a show last weekend in Chicago, and we packed up over 1,200 people.
Right.
And this is on the weekend before that. We did Boston, Massachusetts, and we packed in there. I think it was something like 800 people. That place only hold like 1,000.
Well,
and it was the Hurricane Irene was on their way there.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. If you get that song put together, that could be another source of income at the shows. You could sell that CD in the back.
The whole thing is we put the girls in the studio, and man, it just wasn't. It wasn't coming together for me. It wasn't coming. They did it. They recorded it. I sat there with it. They all sound incredible, but it just wasn't blending, man. It just wasn't blending. So I kind of sat back on it. I said, you know what? And I started, accepting demos, and I went through tons. I get a lot of demos here, so I was listening to demos and trying to, I even have them like new on the charts and song links. So I get tons of that stuff, man. I stopped getting the MP3s. I make sure people send me the CDs, put them on. I listen to them while I'm working. I put them in the car in hopes I find the right song. Unfortunately, I haven't found that song yet,
Well,
so, yeah, so, that's the only thing with that. No, it's not a dead issue. It's just not right. It's just not right now. I can't find that right song. And that song was great. For the 3 of them, I might have to try it again, Kaz. I might have to throw it at them one more time. Who knows? So.
One of the things I think, and I've said this to you before, I think, I understand where you're coming from on that thought. I just think that there may be a chance, and maybe that's not necessarily the case here, but there might be a chance you're just a little too much of a perfectionist.